Okay, so the first thing you are going to do is trace this large candy cane onto your paper. It doesn't have to be straight up and down. It can kind of be tilted if you want to. It is up to you how you want to do that. Okay, and then we're gonna add the stripes on the candy cane. Now, since a candy cane is not a flat piece of paper like this, it is 3D and circular. Those stripes on the candy cane are gonna be slightly curved. And when your line follows the shape or outline of your object, it's called a contour line. So after you add your stripes to your candy cane, we're gonna first start with the highlight of our candy cane. So with your white colored pencil, you are just going to draw a straight line down the middle of your candy cane. And then you'll take that same white colored pencil and just make it a good bit thicker just by coloring back and forth over that straight line. So as I'm working on this highlight, notice how I'm adding the pressure. I'm not pressing down with this colored pencil super hard. If I was pressing down super hard, the white would be very bold and vibrant. I am pressing down pretty lightly just to give it a nice white covering. So you're going to choose two colors for your candy cane stripes. You will see that I have chosen red and green. I have a dark red and a medium red, and then a dark green and a medium green. So whatever color you were going to start with, you're going to choose the darker shade of that color, and you were going to press pretty hard around the edge of the candy cane. So you'll go on the left side of the highlight, and then you will also press pretty hard on the right side of the highlight. You will also notice that I left a little bit of space between this darker color and the white from the highlight, and that's where we're going to add that middle color. So with that middle color, you're going to fill in that space between the dark and the white, but you'll notice that I'm overlapping the white and I'm overlapping the dark green as well. After adding the middle color, you're going to take that white colored pencil again and press pretty hard this time, much harder than you did the first time. And then that's going to blend the dark and the middle and the highlight all together really nicely. And so you're just going to push pretty hard with that white to blend in those colors. And if you'd like to, you can take that darker color again and just kind of go back over a little bit around the edge and on top of that middle color just to blend it a little bit more. And so then you're going to start over again and do that same process with your next color. So you're going to take the darker version of that color and just push pretty hard along the edge of your candy cane. And it is totally okay if you go over your outline of the candy cane. You can see how I'm going outside of the lines, because after we're finished coloring these, we're going to cut them out. So it's totally fine if you go outside of the lines here. So again, after you use the darker version of that color, you'll take the middle color and start filling in the space between the dark and the highlight for that middle ground. And then you'll take that white again and then just press pretty hard this time, blending in your dark and middle and the highlight. Adding these darker and lighter shades to your artwork creates an illusion that the object is three-dimensional instead of flat. When artists use this blending technique, it's called value. Value is changes in light to create a three-dimensional illusion. You can say that these candy canes have darker values and lighter values. The lighter values are called the highlight. Another thing that helps artists create this illusion of three-dimensionality is following those contour lines. So like we were talking about in the beginning of this video, candy canes are round, so we added those curved lines for the stripes. When you're coloring and adding those different values to your candy cane, it's important that you follow the contour lines, or you follow those curved lines, and that will help make it look three-dimensional. So once you are done adding that color and blending in those different values, you are going to want to cut out your candy cane very carefully. Okay guys, so the last thing I'm going to show you is just how we want to sharpen these, because they are pretty expensive and really high quality colored pencils. We can't use an electric pencil sharpener, so we're going to have to use our handheld pencil sharpener. Now, one thing I want you to remember when we're using these, we don't need them to have a huge, sharp, pointy tip, because anytime you're coloring with a pointy tip, as soon as you press down on the paper, that pointy tip is going to break off, and then you'll just be left with a pretty dull pencil. That's going to be wasteful. So we're not going to sharpen these until they get to a point. We're just going to turn it in our pencil sharpener 2 or 3 times. So I know this sounds silly and you guys are old enough to know how to use a pencil sharpener, but these are just really high quality and I want them to last a long time, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So when you go to put it in your pencil sharpener, you don't want to jam it in there. You really just want to set it in there pretty easy, and then just 1, 2, 3 turns, maybe 4. Just, you might have to take it out in between each turn. So what I have is the perfect point, okay? So it's not pointy like a triangle, okay, but it's sharp enough that I can use all of this right here to add that color to my paper. So when you are sharpening these pencils, we don't want a pointy tip. We just want 1, 2, maybe 3. That's perfect to get a kind of dull sharpen, okay? So remember that when you are sharpening your pencil, you're gonna have to do it more often because we're not gonna be sharpening it all the way out to a point. So you're gonna have to color and then stop and sharpen and then color and stop and sharpen. But that will make my Prisma colored pencils last a lot longer, and it will make your art teacher very happy.